So, I initially intended to do this whole big Cardinals recap. I was sitting down to record, or at least I was thinking about it today, and roster cuts started, and we got some stuff to get into a little bit. We do have some stuff, kind of an emergency episode, honestly, with some of the stuff floating around, but let's just get into it. So we have had a slew of moves, and I know we're still not done. So all of this is as of recording. We are 6:40 Mountain Time as of recording. If anything happens while I'm editing or something, we can throw that in. But as of Mike Kliss, cornerback Art Green has been waived, and I'm getting this via Mile High Report, via whoever reports it, and I'll make sure I make good on those sources. So Art Green gone. Trenton Gill is also gone. That one's also via Mike Kliss. I think a lot of these might be via Mike Kliss, 9 News. Philip Dorsett has been outright waived, and that one is Chris Thomason. He said a source, but he's with the Denver Gazette, so reliable source. Philip Dorsett is no longer here. Caleb Hayes was also waived. I'll get into that source as well. That one's also Chris Thomason. We also have linebacker Alec Mock, and that one is via Mike Kliss, and then, again, Mile High Report. That's where I'm getting this info. It's their live tracker. O-line Oliver Jervis has been waived, former CSU guard. And inside linebacker Andre Smith Jr. has also been waived. That was confirmed in the same tweet from Mike Kliss of 9 News. Safety Omar Brown was waived, so there is that one. He's probably a guy that might go up onto the practice squad, but he does have to clear waivers, and that one was also via Mike Kliss. Further reporting on it, again, by Mile High Report. So then we also have defensive tackle Angelo Blackson. That one was kind of surprising to me. I felt like Blackson did really good, but it does secure a spot for one of the younger guys. He might be a guy that goes to the practice squad once we get there. But for now, they are moving on from the veteran lineman. Maybe they don't bring him back. But no, I felt like he was having a decent preseason. So in other news, there's 2 guys that are on the PUP list. It's going to be linebacker Drew Saunders, and I have to wait for Twitter to load now just to get my source for it. Chris Thomason confirmed it. So it's going to be Drew Saunders with the Achilles, and then safety DTY, Delarin Turner-Yell on the PUP list. So 2 roster spots are saved, and I just closed out of the tab. I guess I don't need to be in the tab because we've got major news, and I think this almost confirms at least one of my theories. If you go back to the first episode of the, I guess the only actual one that's not the jersey collection, maybe that was in the last episode of Down the Broncos. I don't know. Point is, there are 2 major reports coming out that Denver will either be trading Tim Patrick or releasing him outright if no one comes calling or offers up anything good enough, or and Samaje Perine will be in the same way. Which I'd have to make a whole new scene. I can go pull it up actually. Let me go to my file explorer real quick. I'm going to get this pulled up before I swap the scene on it here. This was my projection for the running back room, and I think with them fielding calls for Samaje before releasing him, I think that outright confirms it for me. Okay, it does. So now that's going to leave Blake Watson and Tyler Beatty, who I think Beatty at the very least has a practice squad spot locked up entirely if he clears waivers, if they do waive him. Blake Watson, I'm not sure. I can almost honestly say he's not making the 53-man But that one's just me, so we're gonna jump back over here now. Yeah, he is not making the 53. Alrighty, so here's another spot where I think things can get a little interesting. So with Tim Patrick guaranteed gone, you got to start to wonder how many receivers they're going to carry, because that opens things up for one of the younger guys to actually step up. And I'm starting to wonder if Brandon Johnson earned a starting spot, or if they're going to start like Devon Vele or something, because right now it's sitting Sutton 1, Tim Patrick going, and this is via ESPN. They have their own little depth chart thing. So Tim Patrick would have been the number 2 guy across from Sutton. He's gone. So technically, by ESPN's depth chart, that elevates why can't I say his name? Troy Franklin would get elevated to the number 2 in that spot. That's not going to happen. Just with how raw he is. So I'm honestly wondering if they move Josh Reynolds to the 2 and then maybe put a Marvin Mims or a Devon Vele or even a Brandon Johnson. I think Brandon Johnson looked really good in the preseason. And that's just how I feel about it. I think he killed it this preseason, if I'm being completely honest. So I wouldn't be shocked to hear that he's having the roster spot cleared for him or something, because I mean, and we've still got a little bit until the roster cuts are officially made. I think they have to be done by tomorrow, by a certain time. So, I mean, there's a couple of guys that we could see traded. I think they're going to keep Jalen Virgil. I think he's proved himself a little too versatile, definitely too fast. I think they need to find a way to incorporate him into the offense. I think he had himself a decent preseason as well. So, who are some other guys I think could get cut? Michael Burton is a guy I've kind of kept my eyes on. I could see him getting waived at this point. Because they have had Nate Adkins playing that kind of hybrid role. It's just going to be a question of how many tight ends do they feel like keeping on the roster. My thing is, though, is if you let go or practice squad too many guys, what is the contingency? Because, like, Troutman's not a receiving guy. Dulcich is injury prone. Kroll didn't. I mean, Kroll had flashes last year, but, like, can't block. And then you've got Nate Adkins, who honestly seems like he could do it all. He's had a good preseason as well, so I think that puts Michael Burton on the bubble here. And kind of a guy to watch for release. I was, who said it earlier? I want to say it was Locked On Broncos. They brought up the idea that maybe they keep Burton on the practice squad to mentor Nate Adkins a little bit, like is the fullback tight end hybrid thing that like he kind of is, that he's kind of going for. So yeah, there is that. Defensively, there's still more work to do. I think there's a couple of edge guys that are definitely going to lose some spots here, because I don't and some corners. I still think there's corners too that I don't think they're going to keep. One of the things that I also was seeing is that they were fielding calls for Damari Mathis, though they're not really biting on any of them. Which, I mean, if he is improved, like if he has gotten his game together, like that's good. He has a bum ankle right now, so I believe he got put on injured reserve with designation to be reactivated later in the year. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know who they're gonna keep at safety, man. That safety room is crowded. I don't know that Tanner McAllister is gonna stick around. And then Brandon Jones, obviously holding down free safety. He's the guy that's gonna start like straight up. But then you have like Devon Key and Keidron Smith, two guys that had good preseasons. What do you do with them? I thought Key looked all right. I thought Keidron Smith looked way better. But I think Key had his moments, and I think it's going to make it a hard decision for George Payton, Sean Payton, and all the guys that are putting together that room. Thomas Incoom might have actually clinched himself a roster spot as a rotational guy. I liked what I saw from him, and he looked good. He looked good. Inside linebacker, I really think they're only going to keep like 4, maybe 5. And I think until Drew Saunders gets back, which, I mean, he's off a torn Achilles And when did he suffer that? It hasn't been super long since he suffered that. So I really don't think they've got room here to keep like a Lavelle Bailey or like a Ronnie Perkins per se. It's yeah, it's just rough. And then you've got like Darrell Nachami, Dondre Tillman again. I think I already said him. Just a rough spot for a lot of these guys, to be honest. And these are all cuts they've got to move down. And then, like I said, Trenton Gill did get waived, so that means Riley Dixon won the punter battle. So that's cool, I suppose. Um, what else do we got? I think that is about all we've got as of as I record this now, 6:51 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So Denver could be done making moves today. Obviously, you'll have Tim Patrick and Samaje Perine, but it's yeah. Really though, I think the nature of the Tim Patrick move is just to get younger in that room. I mean, you've got like Tim Patrick's a fan favorite, sure, but on the other side of that, you've got an injury-prone guy coming off of two like catastrophic injuries. I think it was an ACL and then an Achilles just this last year, so he hasn't played in a while, and it's just with him kind of turning 30, or not even turning 30, he'll turn 31 in November. I think if you are looking for a youth movement, I think you do have good young guys in that room. Devon Vele in particular sticks out to me. I think Vele had a really good preseason as well. I think Brandon Johnson had a good preseason. I think there are bodies to replace him, and honestly, like with his injury history, like if you can get trade for him, like take it. If you can get something decent for him, really. I would if this is the case, I would rather trade him and get something. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Just kind of your thoughts and analysis. And with that being said, I will see you guys later. I hope to have. I mean, let me know if you guys even want to see a Cardinals game recap, or if you just want me to keep up coverage of the Broncos roster moves. I mean, really, it'll be when I get off work tomorrow. I got to speed run edit this to get it up. But anyways, I'll quit rambling. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Broncos country. Forever. I'm not Anthony Fantano. What the fuck am I doing, man?